77 more useless facts in Genshin Impact. Dude, last time we actually found some pretty damn interesting facts about, like, the missing artifact set and stuff that's not in the game anymore. Let's get into it.
Oh boy, it's that time of year again where
Hell
I go,
yeah, brother.
Naku weeds are purple, and make
He sounds like a Minecrafter.
it into a video. I'm just kidding, I would never stoop that low.
Lying. Why are you lying to me? Only because you wanted me to.
Anyway,
God.
this is the third installment of random and useless things you probably already knew about in Genshin Impact.
All right, let's see how many we knew and how many are new to us.
The background of the party setup varies depending on which region you're in. In
I knew
fact,
that.
Sumeru has 2 different backgrounds depending on if you're in the forest or the desert.
Yep, or make sure as well, just as a heads up here for any players, if you don't want to lose a character off your account permanently, genuinely here, make sure if you ever are in the desert and you open the party screen, you take Nuvela out of that, preferably before you enter the desert, because that motherfucker shrivels up so quick.
Though I do wish that Dragonspine got the same treatment. You can actually hear music from outside the flagship in Nasha Town.
Wait, that's so cool! Oh, that's actually so sick! I did not know that. I usually play with my music turned down. That's so cool!
Interestingly enough, this music actually counts as a sound effect. I would know because I tried muting sound effects in my audio settings to hear the music better, and ended up going deaf instead.
Interesting. I usually have my sound effects low, but not low enough to not hear that. But I guess you only pay attention if you're actually stood still outside, I guess.
In my audio settings to hear the music better, and ended up going deaf instead.
That's fun. Wait, deaf. Oh. Of course.
You can see the stars at night, but honestly, while this is nice,
actually, they're not real.
I think if we come back on a different day, it can be nicer. If you're wondering where I am to be seeing this, I'm just joking. You can see this from around the world, and it even changes color depending on what nation you're in. Here it is from Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma proper, the Sumeru Forest, and Natland, which
okay, that bitch changed color once, and it was for Natland.
all look pretty much the same, but here it is from the Sumeru Desert. Here it is from Fontaine. Here it is from Natland again, but this time it looks different. And here it is from Nodcry.
Dude, I'm telling you, that part of the sky is going to be like a weak point or something. And if you look in Paimon's cloak, bro, parts of her cloak also change color like that, and it kind of looks like that. It's going to be something important. Paimon's cloak.
Riding the space elevator, you can't actually open any menus. No map, no wishing, no settings, which is certainly an interesting choice for the longest elevator ride in the game.
Do you know why that probably is? It's probably an invisible loading screen.
How long is this elevator ride, you ask? And does it take the same amount of time going both ways? Well, riding the elevator down takes 1 minute and 42 seconds, while going up takes 3 minutes and 17. Now, I'm no astrophysicist, so you're gonna have to help me figure out why that is.
Gravity. Wait, it's the moon. There's still a bit. Right? There's still a bit.
Is it A, gravity, or B, magic?
And
I fucking love that guy, dude. Russell, what's his name? Fucking Russell Howard.
speaking of the space elevator, if it's not at the International Space Station, you can space swim your way down the elevator shaft up to a certain point.
Oh, it's not even hit a loading screen?
And disappointingly tells you to stop engaging in reasonless behavior.
Ah, see? It probably is an invisible loading screen. Bran, it's not hidden animation. You can fall from above and just go down. Well, if it teleports you back up, it's probably a hidden loading screen.
If you talk to Catherine and Nodcry with Nefer or Yehoda, you can see one of those YouTube expose thumbnails. And just like in those videos, Catherine is under NDA and isn't allowed to share any classified information. But using some expert interrogation tactics I stole from the CIA, you can obtain intel that you can trade to Catherine. The ship furthest
I wish I did this before, dude. That seems kind of fun.
away from Dornman Port is completely empty, which can only mean one of 2 things. Either they were kidnapped by Somali pirates and their ransom still hasn't been paid, or it's a ghost ship. Wait, aren't those 2 like the same thing?
Kinda.
Same,
But different.
but still same.
The cannon's core in Nasha Town has some real jerky movement until it speeds up and approaches meltdown. You can go behind the counter.
See, people will look at this and think weapon of mass destruction. I think prototype disco ball. I'm just saying.
You can go behind the counter of the general goods store as well as Good Hunter and Mondstadt, so the next time they say they're out of stock on ingredients, go back there and check for yourself.
Yep.
I'm gonna be the sole reason they install glass partitions like convenience stores in the hood.
Oh my god, dude.
If you teleport to Mondstadt and look at the windmills, you'll notice that they'll change speeds really suddenly. And speaking of windmills, the ones in Mondstadt City have 6 sails, while the ones in Millhaven only have 5. And yes, I did literally just learn that those were called sails. There's a gang gathering.
Wait, why? The changing, like, movement speeds suddenly is cool, because I think it makes sense weather-wise, right, with the amount of wind, but the amount of sails is interesting.
In Nasha Town, which I've now joined. Apparently, they're going door-to-door trying to sell car insurance or something.
Wendy's!
Jesus.
Our people are your best insurance.
If you jump off the map in Enkonomiya and into the void, your characters lose their energy. In fact, if you jump off the map in your teapot, you get the same result. Meanwhile, if you jump off the Temple of Space, you actually don't lose any energy at all. And if you jump off the Ancient Sacred Mountain, you get saved by a Phlogiston Fireball. By the way, I'm testing all of this with Kirara because cats always land on their feet.
True. And even if they die, they at least have another 8 lives.
That is just a rumor spread by dogs!
My Wave Rider has been docked at Leeway Harbor for about 8 months now. There are 3 planters in the middle of the main road, if you can even call it a road, in Mondstadt.
Oh my god, don't, stop it, no, skip this one, please.
And they're the exact same, though the third one is flipped for some reason. Speaking of the
Oh, thank god he didn't say it. Oh my god, he didn't say it. For anyone that's wondering, no, you're not.
planters, there's even one off the main road that's an amalgamation of the 2.
Why is there 2 annoying things in Mondstadt now?
There are 9 tables outside belonging to this tavern in Port Ormos, and if you're wondering where the 9th one is, I just hope a customer doesn't actually have to eat here. Speaking of Port Ormos, there are all kinds of boats either in the waters around or docked here, 28 of them to be exact. They range from little dinghies that look like they're one small wave away from capsizing, to giant merchant ships that are totally not being used to smuggle anything illicit. You can stand in the Fountain of Lucina.
No, dude, no, stop it. I should not have watched this video. Stop it. The voices. Oh my god, dude, when this fucking came out, I swear to god, for at least 2 months, people would come into my chat. Brad, did you know about the voices of the fountain in Fontaine? Brad, did you know about the voices of the fountain? Brad, did you know about the... I'd uploaded like 5 fucking YouTube shorts about it at this point. Brad, did you hear about the voices? Oh my, I felt like I was actually hearing voices by that point.
In Fontaine, and while Shanyun can't actually jump in the center of it, Nahida totally can.
Oh. I'm jumping the gun on these facts a little bit too quickly, I think.
And in case you were wondering, no, Neuvillette can't fit. I don't know why you were wondering that, but hey, I won't question your fantasies. The Palace of Alcazarzare is the place with the most A's in its name, coming in at a total of 7.
Really? That's a lot of A's. Actually.
Honestly, though, I just call this place the Palace of Alcatraz. In the Opera Epiclese, the first floor has 7 rows of seats, while the second floor only has 2. There are 15 stools in the new Fontaine Research Institute, 6 of which are occupied by researchers who have never stood up once in their lives. The volcano in the Atokpan region of Natland actually erupts and spews a bunch of molten hairballs at you like a cat that's gotten into the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Compared to everyone else, Columbina has a very different jump animation while she's sprinting, which makes her look really elegant.
Yeah.
There are still no short male characters in the game.
That's about to fucking change. Oh, I really hope so, bro. I hope he runs. I really do. Other than Zhao, of course. But yeah, no, Pulcinella, oh my god, dude.
But don't worry, short kings, for you shall rise up. Rise against this tyranny. Rise so that you may one day almost reach their shoulders on your tippy toes. Speaking of character models, there are 5 character model sizes and most of them stop sprinting in different ways. The tall males almost fully turn...
Dude, the little chibi sprint is genuinely very cute. It's adorable.
To the side while stopping. I literally can't tell the difference between how the tall and medium females stop, so maybe if I put them side by side, I'll see something. Medium males do a little hop at the end there. Short females almost fall over.
That's so cute.
And Columbina is once again... special.
Fucking Aura Farmer, bro. She's so cool.
On Beto's ship, you can walk along that rope behind me.
I've done that so many times.
Which in boat terms is called the forestay. All I know is that this proves I can't walk in a straight line. Trust me, I'm not inept. I swear it's harder than it looks. On Jinren Island in Inazuma, you can get stuck mid-plunge attack right on this little gap here. In fact, you can...
Kenny, note it down.
Do this all around Tevad as long as the gap is small enough.
True.
Here's one in Port Ormos, and here's one in...
Oh my god, that was one of the first glitches I was shown, actually.
Leeway Harbor. While looking for other spots for the previous...
Do you all remember that one glitch with Nahida, bro, where you could swing forever? That was so fun.
I found these 2 boxes in Nodcry that looked perfect for the job. Instead, what ended up happening was I just slipped in between like it was an ass crack. I did eventually climb out, or more accurately, I popped out like a hot dog in that world's fastest hot dog eater video.
Yeah, it birthed you. Did he try catch it again?
I popped out like a hot dog in that world's fastest hot dog eater video.
This motherfucker tried to catch it again in his mouth. That is disgusting, bro. Oh my god, that's the worst part of that video. Stop.
Thunderclap Reef in Nodcry is always rainy. Night and day, 365 days a year. Or however many days are in a year on this planet.
That one place in Inazuma is always rainy as well for some reason. Beats me to this day.
Some characters' bursts can change the color grading of the game. For example, Nivelet's burst very briefly gives a bluish hue
I think, as well, right?
Back to normal. Nahida's is much more noticeable, and you can actually step outside her burst radius to see the difference. Raiden's burst and Skirk's 7-phase flash darken the screen for however long they last, and Mawika's burst basically turns any time into sunset. Nahida
Sorry, it was Mawika's.
Can read people's minds, which I'm pretty sure is honestly some insane amount of invasion of privacy, but I guess she's a god, so she can do whatever she wants. Flynn's is 600 or 700 years old.
It's always Aoife now.
I genuinely wish I was making that up, but he literally says it himself.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He did say that. I remember now. He did.
I think my brain just committed suicide.
Nicole blinks 13 times in 1 minute.
What?
The Metaverse Dottore weekly boss has a chance of dropping 1 of 3 anomalous tree marrows, which contains some deep and interesting lore that I'll surely read someday.
I actually uploaded a whole video where I read all of this out, and it is very interesting.
Your character will actually turn their head towards interactable NPCs, animals, and practically every interactable object or entity. The unusual Hilichurl only spawns in Mondstadt and Liyue. I'm guessing he hasn't been able to get his Japan visa yet. You can hold a maximum of 2,000 of any food, and
who limit tested this?
yes, the game counts normal and delicious dishes as separate. If you try cooking anymore, the game will tell you to stop being a fat ass and free up some space. Don't ask me why I have that many sweet madams, I'm stocking up for the hantavirus lockdown. You can caress the flowers in the Meliastra Wonderland lobby. Just don't do it too aggressively or they might start leaking out sap. Wait, what? Different characters will strike different poses when looking at
Whoa, what?
their talents, so I decided to document all of the types. We've got arms crossed, contemplative male edition, contemplative female edition, hand on chest, 6'7", holding
Of course it's fucking Farina that does that.
one hand out, one hand on hip, both hands on hips, permanently embarrassed, thinking child, and holding both hands in front, which is exclusive to only Nicole at the time of recording. One of Nicole's idol animations has 2 different cute chibis that pop up. I'm actually unsure whether or not there's a third, but after 20 attempts of trying to get a different one, I just assumed there were only 2. Kirara in her box cat form meows whenever she jumps.
Aww.
This is part of the reason why she's the best cat girl in the game. This statue of 7 in the distance in Nodcry looks like it's floating in the sky.
Magic.
Taller characters swim faster. That's no secret, but from what I can tell, there's no difference in how most of the character models move their arms while swimming, except for short female characters, who almost look
Jesus Christ, that's like a fucking helicopter.
like it's their first swimming lesson and they're trying not to piss themselves and drown in the shallow end. The sky around Amakumo Peak is the same during all times of the day. And speaking of Amakumo Peak, these orbiting rocks can't hit you, and are only visible above a certain altitude. Go below them far enough, and they'll disappear while the sun pops up over the horizon.
God, that is so pretty. What do you mean they can't hit you? Like, because you don't go through them, do they just avoid you?
A certain altitude. Go below them far enough, and they'll disappear while the sun pops up over the horizon. Farina can't walk across the surface of the water that leads to Enkanomiya because you get teleported right before hitting it, much to my disappointment, because I think it'd be a pretty cool screenshot if she could.
What if you use the skill just before going in and then you fall here? Can you splat on the water here? Or are you always just doomed to fall in?
Because I think it'd be a pretty cool screenshot if she could. There are 18 species
Oh, I think that's what he tried, actually. Never mind.
of catchable fish, which include 3 stingrays, depressed angelfish, which is what I like to call Nicole when she's drowning, a fish that looks like something I know threw together in a scrapyard, only to forget she introduced an invasive species into the Fontainian ecosystem, and this thing, which looks so alien-like. The first thing that popped into my head was the alien from Alien Isolation.
That is a freaky fucking fish, dude.
Sumeru has the most dangerous wildlife out of every region. Mondstadt has its wild boars, and Nodcry has its pack of razors, but Sumeru has Floridian crocodiles, treetop tigers that like to jump you,
Jesus.
Sumpter beasts who've aligned themselves with the enemy, scorpions who've aligned their stingers with your ass cheek, and flying snakes. Wait a minute, this is just the Australian outback. Speaking of the flying snakes in Sumeru, they drop something called mysterious meat, which isn't actually sold anywhere and is only obtainable by killing these abominations. The big gear you see when changing the in-game time has 48 teeth. Ningguang's
Okay, this really is useless facts at this point. Holy dude.
office in the Jade Chamber has windows through which light shines very brightly during the day. And if you switch to nighttime, the light outside kind of just disappears like someone decided to switch it off. Mawika, ever the polite and considerate Archon, always reorients her bike in the direction you were facing after attacking.
Hey, wait, that's actually kind of cool. I never knew that. That's a cool little detail, so you don't accidentally drive off in the wrong direction or something. Or I guess so it doesn't look scuffed, right? If you end up left and then you have to reorganize yourself.
Due to the Frost Moon's reduced gravity, you actually fall slower and take less fall damage. For example, jumping off the Favonius Knight's headquarters just straight up kills Shan Yun here. But if she jumps off the high-speed transit station, which is a lot taller...
Wait, I don't think I've noticed myself take fall damage on the moon. How much do you take? Because this is a long drop, dude.
She takes so little damage it might as well be a yellow card for simulation.
True. Is it capped to this amount, or is it higher? Like, can you lose more?
Sorry, I just got done watching the Argentina versus Switzerland highlights, and wow, that dive by Embolo was incredible. Some characters' shields have an audio and or visual cue for when they get hit. For example, here's Nicole's.
That audio. I mean, the visual side of that is very pretty, actually. It's like an alarm. It just glows. That's very cool. Jesus Christ. Okay, fucking stop with the paparazzi, bro. Stop with the paparazzi. Do you see the runes on this as well, dude? This guy.
Here's Kirara's. Inefa's shield actually sounds like a muffled video game dodgeball.
Oh, it does. What the hell? Not a dodgeball, but like a boom, boom, like hollow.
And here's Noelle's, whose shield for some reason only has a visual cue.
Let's light it up.
Cause she's stealthy, bro.
Some shields,
yeah. Hers and the Geo characters are just bright, dude.
Even rotate with your character, which makes a shield like Inefa's look like a hamster ball. You can see the specific areas of Tevat from outer space.
Dude, this is fire. Especially if you change the time and you see it spin. Dude, this was one of my coolest things in the moon, to be honest. The moon was very cool. Way cooler than I ever expected it to be.
For example, that's Natland over there, and that's the Sumeru Desert where I send all of my wire-guided missiles. And speaking of Tevat from outer space, you can actually watch it rotate. Teleporting around...
You can do that way quicker just by changing time.
...around on the moon has a different sound effect than teleporting around on Tevat.
Wait. Sometimes when you get these useless facts, in the sea of uselessness, there's a useless fact that's actually kind of cool.
Prune is the first playable character added to the game whose name starts with the letter P.
Yup. Perroet doesn't count because the character's name is Alakino, chat. We've been through this. Wanderer doesn't count. Just because I called mine Patrick does not mean he's actually called Patrick.
And on a similar note, there are no playable characters whose name starts with a U.
We need Uganda Knuckles collab.
Do you know the way?
Usurper. True, Usurper. That's actually a good one, bro. Nah, U is like, what name are you going to call someone with a U, you know? Your mom.
In fact, it's the only letter in the alphabet left without a character. The more exhausted you are in space, the more muffled your sound effects get.
Oh, that's simply because you're dying. Actually. Fun fact. That's because you're losing consciousness.
While in zero gravity, if you drift straight down then stop, your character does a cute little flip to reorient themselves. There's only one of each type of ley line in each region at a single time. You can unlock little badges on Linnea's backpack, also known as Lumi's Pokeball.
Yeah, these are really cool.
Which you can see in-game.
I like those.
You can do this by first pulling for Linnea, then following her wildlife pamphlet, which qualifies you to listen in on her lectures.
This is a Saratoga nettle. They're extremely nutritious. I was incorrect.
Above the
Jesus Christ, who is that?
crafting station in Nodcry, you'll see a very self-explanatory sign. You actually can't stand on the sign. Instead, you'll continue floating above it while the game tries to push you away.
What
Why,
the fuck?
Hoyoverse? Why?
Okay, sometimes I do have those questions though, and it is like, why, right? Also, what is that like the Avengers Tower, but really fucking shit? Yeah, sometimes you see these things and you're like, why? Just let me stand on it. And then there'll be just the most weird things that you can't stand on or jump on. Certain parts of a cliff that look like you should be able to climb on them and stand up, you know, to get stamina back, and you just fucking fall. Oh, God.
What's in the sign, huh? Bigfoot? Lohan's victims? Yehoda's secret stoner stash? Speaking of floating, you can glide right over the Stygian Onslaught flower and continuously float over it.
Better than going in.
In Domus Aurea, you can find groups of these glowing flying things that are called golden bees. I had to do a little bit of googling to find that out, but just in case I decide to capture one and hold it in a glass container, I'll at least have a label. There are 72 book series currently in the game. This is where all of you lore experts ask why all of them still have the new tag, and if I've even read any of them. To that I say...
No.
Are you on drugs?
The Temple of Space memory core is completely intangible. Something profound about memory fading or whatever. I don't know, I can't remember.
I did notice that.
You can find these mechanical beetles called subdetection units around Fontaine.
Is the fun fact that they're not fucking fun at all. Is the fun fact that these fucking things should never exist. Is the fun fact that they should literally obliterate every single one of these. You know that people really want to obliterate mosquitoes, but then they find out they're actually a really viable food source for things like bats? Well, these things are fucking useless for everything else on Teyvat. Get rid of them, Hoyoverse.
They'll usually
Delete
flash
them.
green, blue, or yellow, but go close enough to them and they'll start flashing red. And while you could collect them right away like a normal person, I'm a bit of a psycho, so I prefer to see them twitching on the ground first.
Jesus.
Flynn's can be found at his lighthouse where he's taking a break from paperwork. You can even lie to him and say that you too have been filling out paperwork for the Adventurers Guild every day. In Nicole's library, you can find some magical floating books that avoid you like how a gacha player avoids the shower. And speaking of Nicole's library, you can actually still get to the top of it after completing the Witch's Lodge quests. Of course, I used the best exploration character in the game to do this, and I don't think the devs intended for people to get up here,
Oh, they definitely did.
considering we can't even sit in the chair. When using Sandrone's skill above water, she'll end up taking a few steps after the skill finishes, and during this window you can actually refresh it and keep going.
Cool. Kinda. Just use Kaya.
Yes, you can even do it while sprinting, however, it doesn't work if you're holding a direction key. So on
Fair.
that note, it takes Sandrone roughly 9 minutes to float, I guess, from Inazuma to Liyue Harbor. And that's all the useless facts I've got for you today. Let me know which one you think was
Damn,
the
dude.
most useless, and whether or not I should do another one of these.
I think the most useless one was probably... probably the fact that the Statue of the Seven looks like it's floating in the air when it's not. Maybe the fact that the fucking cog in the clock has 48 teeth. Yeah, 48 teeth one. Yeah, that was kind of pointless, right? That was kind of useless. Still fun though.
Just kidding, I'll probably do another one regardless, but hey,
Nice.
comment it anyway, and maybe YouTube will give me my family back. Anyway, gonna go back to hibernating. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
That was a great video, dude. Great video. I didn't have too much input for this one, to be honest, but it was a very fun watch and I enjoyed it a lot. Just a lot of things that I did know and quite a few useless things that I definitely didn't know. Let me know in the YouTube comments if this was enlightening to you.